So continuing on the finding a missing angle measure, take a look. So here's our shape again, and here's how I would find the total number of interior angles, or the total number of degrees inside my interior angles. I would plug in the number of sides, subtract 2 times 180. So here's what I know. Remember, and the box right here indicates 90. I know these four: 90, 75, 130, 135. But I don't know this x. But I do know the total number that I should be looking for. So here's what I can do. I can write an equation out. 540 equals 90 plus 75 plus 130 plus 135. And these are the angles that I know. And so I have a missing measure right here. When I simplify, or when I'm combining like terms, what I'll be left with is 540 degrees equals 430 degrees, which is all of these four added up, plus my x. So from here, it would be just like solving for my x. What's happening is I'm adding 430 to x. I'm going to do the opposite, so I'll subtract 430 from both sides. Let's do 430, not 340. Leave me with 110 degrees for x. So, this doesn't need a degree sign right here. So that means that my missing angle measure, if I go back to this x right here, is 110 degrees. Which makes sense in the drawing, but again, sometimes my drawings aren't necessarily to scale. But this is how I could find a missing measure. Now, one more example problem before y'all get going is how I can find a missing angle measure when they tell me that it's a regular polygon. A regular polygon is when all of the interior angles have the same degree. Remember, an equilateral triangle has angles all the same measure. They're all equal to 60 degrees. That's what we would call that a regular triangle. So any regular shape, like a regular quadrilateral, we'd call that a square. All four of the angle measures are the same. They're all 90 degrees. That's true of any shape. And so if they tell me it's a regular shape, then I know that each one is equal to the same amount. So let's say that they want to know what's the interior angle measure for a regular octagon. First, I'd have to know, go back to my notes, an octagon has 8 sides. Then I would want to know how many total degrees are on the inside of an octagon. I would do 8 minus 2 times 180. 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 times 180 should give me 1080 or 1080. Now what I can do with this information is I know that octagons have 8 sides. So that means each of the 8 sides is equal to the same measurement. So that's kind of like saying 8n. So again, solving my equation here, divide each side by 8 for the number of sides, and that leaves me with 135 for n. So I know that a regular octagon, each of the interior angles has a measure of 135 degrees.